Hello, Richard Fabio here. So I just was invited to share at a satsang gathering, and it was a 1 hour thing, and we only had time for the first portion of the talk, and so I wanted to honor the title was to also talk about prana, and we didn't quite have enough time to fully get into it, so I just thought I'd offer a couple thoughts here. If you're tuning in and watching it from because you were there at the group, I hope that this video honors the that we said we would also talk about prana, and you find this enjoyable and useful. And you can always shoot me an email if you have any questions or anything comes up that you're interested in. Otherwise, if you're just a YouTuber viewing this, here's some extra content. So prana, we can think of it as a field, that the pranic field is everything. It permeates, it's within everything, and there's these densities of prana. The example I started explaining in the satsang discussion we were having was that if when you go to a mountaintop and you hike and you see out vast the beautiful scenery, the air, hawks in the sky, the tree lines, there's a feeling that we have when we're doing that. And if we're in like a closed room with white walls and those kind of particle ceilings and the blockbuster carpet, and there's no windows, we feel very different. Even a single plant in that room would make that room feel quite different. And why? Not to say that that room doesn't have prana, but it doesn't have like a life nourishing, a vitality to it that the other example does. And so when you're feeling into your own life, your own experience, like different things have a pranic signature, and some of those are more they hold us better, they add vitality. And sort of a yogic path is to work with it, to interact with it in ways that are life nourishing. And there's ancient texts of India speak about this quite a bit. There's a wonderful text, an ancient text called the Chandogya Upanisad, and they've got quite a few lines about prana. I just would share a little piece with you to give us some insight about prana and working with prana. So the phrase is Pranabandhanam hi soma manah. Pranabandhanam hi somya manah. And hopefully in the description there'll be the verse reference or something. I could probably pull that off. And Pranabandhanam means that prana and bandhanam is like the binding or the holding, right? It's tethered to. So prana holds fast, holds steady. The manaha, the last word, manaha, is mind, the thoughts, the fluctuations of our thoughts, so that your energy level is tethered to the mind. And bandhanam, that often will be translated as bondage, and so we almost immediately think of in our culture like a negative word there. But you fasten things, you fasten a boat to the dock, and like it's good, right? It's good that we can fasten the boat to the dock, otherwise the boat would just wander off. And so let's not think it's not meant to be construed as like a negative, like in bondage, or like captive, but rather tethered and anchored in a way that's important, that's useful. And so that tethering, prana holds the mind. It can hold the mind. But what happens is the mind forgets about prana. It unacknowledges prana. And it tries to fly away. It tries to reach out. It tries to go out to things to feel nourished. It tries to go out into sort of like object consciousness. And so this is a very classic example would be like a new shiny toy, a new shiny object that you want to buy. Just new clothes, luxurious meal, something that's attractive to you, and then your eye latches onto it, and the prana is like, ooh, it kind of livens up, and it will inside the energy level, which is also prana, will say, I feel a little bit of a sense of lack because I've put my energy in the acquiring of that thing. So the mind now generates a bunch of thoughts about acquiring that thing. And the prana is sort of in this relationship, right, with the mind. And so the mind goes out and says, oh, no, we're not going to be happy unless we have that thing. But the prana you already have. So you acquire the object, and this is often what happens when it's like a false promise, like a false thing that you get the object and it's like, this isn't that great. I paid for this. And maybe you have an example of that, I think it's called buyer's remorse. Yes, perfect. Buyer's remorse is a perfect example of what this verse is trying to tell us. That it's like, wait a minute, where's the prana? Like, where's the value here that I thought I was going to get? And the mind can make this mistake. Now, sometimes there's great exchanges, right? Like we do have consuming things, that's a wonderful experience. And those things are sort of in the current, because remember, prana is a huge field of existence. Prana is a huge field of existence. And so our life is an unfoldment of prana, exchanging energy, moving back and forth, but the field exists. There's nothing that's actually devoid of prana or empty of prana. So the mind can make a mistake when it forgets about this, that we're really actually looking for an energy, an energetic experience. It's not the thing itself. And that's where often the mistake can happen. And that's where I think the yogi can really benefit in working with prana and seeing that it's the energy that matters. It's how I show up for the experience. It's not about the actual thing. It's about the energy of the thing. And when we realize that we are already fully integrated with the field of prana, the mind is tethered to that field. The mind can actually learn to relax into and recognize, oh, my thoughts and the emotions and energy levels of the pranic field are joined. They're together. They're bound. And that we can settle the mind back into our own energy field. We can settle it back into, yeah, like I have spirit. I have energy right now, right here, by dwelling in myself. Dwelling in the prana that already here, that is fueling, to some extent, the thoughts. Fueling our thoughts. And the he, somya means like truly he, hi in Sanskrit. Somya is like a gentle invitation. It's like a kind, it's saying like readied one, gentle mind. It's speaking to you essentially. Soma, it means like softness or subtle one. So it's like softened ego. That's kind of what somya is. It's like a nickname for like a kind name that that one would say to you as like somya, like one who is ready to hear this. One who's ready to hear this. Like, has your mind made that recognition that sometimes the reaching out for things doesn't provide the satisfaction or the contentment that it's supposed to deliver on? And so instead, it's like, readied one, perhaps you see, perhaps this message lands, that your mind can settle into the field of prana itself and find contentment, find peace, find refuge, find beauty. Yeah. Pranabandhanam, hi somya manah.